Welcome to another episode of the Good Endeavor Short-Term Rental Show. I'm your host, Mark McDaniel, and today we're going to be talking about 3 of the top ways to increase your bookings. There are quite a few ways out there. We're going to be focusing on 3, and at the end of the show, we're going to give you a call to action to make at least one change this week that'll increase your bookings. So first big topic we'll discuss is you need to be using some kind of dynamic pricing, whether that's Price Labs, Beyond Pricing, or Wheelhouse. This is something you need to be using. The second big thing is you need to be very active within your Airbnb account. Every morning or sometime every day, block some time off on your calendar and be super active in that Airbnb account. We'll go into a few things you need to be changing, updating, moving within that account. And we're going to assume that when you update that account, it's going to update your website, it's going to update Booking, it's going to update Vrbo, Expedia, and the rest of them. And the last thing we'll talk about today is remarketing. Lots of ways to remarket. We're going to focus on a couple, but this is something you need to be doing within your business if you want to start building your business on the back of your own platform, which would be your online website. This is a great strategic way to long-term own the customer and get them to keep booking directly with you, which saves your homeowner fees, saves the guest fees, and helps you out from a fee standpoint and own that mindshare. I want you to start thinking about these online travel agencies purely as channels. So dynamic pricing will help you get to the right pricing for the channel. Being very active will help you rank higher in the algorithm on Airbnb. Being very active in Vrbo and Booking, it'll all help you rank higher within those. You want to get certain statuses within those, but ultimately they are a channel to be able to collect information about your guests. You need to be collecting phone numbers. You need to be collecting email addresses. There's quite a few ways, not quite a few, there's a couple ways to do that, either through Jot Forms, Google Forms, through a product called StayFi, but you need to be collecting this information so in the future you can own the mind share of that potential guest. Also, if you want to own the mind share of the guests, we need to be creating great hospitality, great experiences, have great amenities, great design, all those things that we've talked about before. All this needs to be part of your overall package, or else you're just remarketing to somebody who had a subpar time and it's all a waste of time. First thing we're going to talk about is the dynamic pricing. There's a few tools out there. The tools are Price Labs, which is the one that I use currently. I am not paid by them. I'm not endorsing them, but I have used them successfully. I've used Beyond Pricing. The difference between them and Price Labs is Beyond Pricing charges you on booking. Price Labs charges a flat fee. So Beyond Pricing wants a piece of your fee up front and they charge you on booking. And so like say you're just starting out, you'll be getting if you got 100 bookings on the first month, you'll be getting a pretty big bill from Beyond. But you won't be getting as big of bills later on. So it's just a trade-off. Wheelhouse is another one. I think them and Price Labs are priced similarly. It doesn't really matter which one you use. Just make sure you use it and use all of their available features. Be aggressive. A lot of them have features that price it more and more aggressively as the weeks count down. A lot of them have features that you can toggle between your median price, your low price, and your high price. And you'll want to do that. You'll want to do some research on your own. So this isn't the end all be all. You'll still want to say you have a 3-bedroom with a pool and you have wonderful design, but you punch it in as 3-bedroom with a pool in the Price Labs and it prices you competitively against other houses that have 3 bedrooms with pools, but they have terrible design, or maybe they've got way better design, or maybe they have terrible amenities, or maybe you've got better amenities. So you got to think about that when you're pricing your low and your high and your median. just think about those things when you're pricing. You want to be competitive. You want to have some sort of automation in your life and in your business as you continue to grow. These tools know all of the dynamic pricing events that happen. This pricing updates virtually every night. I mean, they know the pricing events that happen. Say there's a big event that comes to the neighborhood, or there's a basketball game that comes to the neighborhood. They know when these things are going on, and sometimes you don't. So it's great to have a dynamic pricing tool. We can give you way more information on this, but this is key to your success when you're getting increased bookings. That brings me to another topic. You want to be active in your Airbnb listing, and you got to think that when you're updating pricing every night, that's affecting the Airbnb, which shows a little bit of activity within Airbnb, but that's not the only thing we got to do. We've got to log into our account, log on to every single listing, make sure you're updating the top 5, at least the top 5 photos every single day. Make sure you're actively improving your amenities and updating those amenities on the checklist within Airbnb. You should be going into the description of your property and putting those amenities in there. Just don't click on them within the Airbnb click down menu, but you want to actually be listing them in there. You want proper spacing in your copy. You want it to look good, the actual copy to look good. So you need some proper spacing in there. You want to represent your company well. So you want something in there that says, hey, whatever your company name is, presents Grand Vista Lodge, whatever the name of your property is. You want the name of your company in there and the name of your property in there. Again, all your amenities. You want to tell a story with your photos, really. You can update those top 5 photos. You can update your superhero photo, but you really want to be telling a story from the outside, inside, from the front to the back, from the middle floor to the bottom floor to the top floor. Tell a story about what it's going to be like to stay there. Walk people through the house. Give a description on every single photo. You want to market this thing as good as you can. Please, 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 please do not skimp on your photos. Use a professional photographer. You want some good drone photos. You want some good outside photos. If it has a view, you need the view in there. You need color in there. You need to just make sure it looks pristine, because 9 times out of 10, you will be competing against folks who aren't doing this. But I got to tell you, more and more folks are catching on. So the competition's getting stiffer and stiffer, and the saturation's getting more and more. And the word is out. Like, people can make a lot of money in the short-term rental space. Word has gotten out. Saturation has increased. Demand has decreased slightly. We're not seeing too much of that. We got to decide. Today, you got to decide. You're going to be a professional about this. This is a real business. It's not a hobby. You've spent a lot of money on this property, or somebody spent a lot of money on this property, and we got to treat it as such. The last thing in the lineup here is remarketing. This is huge. I cannot emphasize this enough. You need to be collecting all the email addresses, all the phone numbers of all of your guests. You then need to be remarketing to those guests through newsletters, blogs, text, special offers. The more you stay in front of them, the better it is. Just assume if you send 5 emails that they're not going to get any of them. I would go ahead and assume that it's going to take at least 7 contacts to be able to rebook them again. So go ahead and create this list. Go ahead and use ChatGPT, a copywriter, whatever you need to use. If you're a great writer, you can do it yourself, but you need to be sending them information and updates and stuff about attractions, less sales and more information and education than anything. So maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 12. If you're super aggressive, 1 in 8 emails or text or whatever it is should be about a sale. This is where you start building your brand. These online travel agencies, you never know what they're going to do. And if we build our businesses on the backs of an online travel agency, so if I build my business on the back of VRBO, it's like, I think Mark Simpson said it one time, it's like me building my house on somebody else's land. It's crazy. So if I'm serious about building my property management business, that means I need to be serious about marketing, learning marketing, etc. I've been in sales a lot of my life, and what I'm beginning to understand about sales is a direct one-on-one relationship, and it's easier to create a raging fan probably through sales, but it's a lot easier to touch way, way, way more people through marketing. Marketing has the scale that sales will never have. We can talk about sales some other time. I think you can, through great salesmanship, you can create raving fans forever, so it won't take as many touches. You can do special things through empathy, through talking to them to create raving fans. But marketing is for the masses. And if you're really good at it, you can touch somebody pretty deep within marketing. You can get to their soul. You can influence them in the best of ways. It can be used for bad, but if you use it for good, then you're building a great long-term business. So think about this though, from the remarketing standpoint. I got off on a tangent there for a second, but from a remarketing standpoint, this is better for the guests because they're paying less fees probably. They're not paying the overage fees that the online travel agency charges. It's better for the homeowner because if you're the property manager and you're not keeping 100% of any kind of fee, then it's better for them because they're probably making more. And it's better for you because now you own the guest. You're probably making more and you control the platform. You control what they see and you control the messaging, and the guest isn't paying the fee. So it's a win-win-win. And in my book, from where I'm from, if you can create a scenario for the guest and the homeowner and yourself where it's a win-win-win, then this is what we need to be focusing on. So remarketing is key. So to kind of recap these three things, we need to be using a dynamic pricing tool. This is very, very imperative. We need to be very active in our OTAs, specifically Airbnb. We need to be updating pictures, copies, changing pictures, clicking on more amenities, actually physically updating amenities within our homes. This means spices and salts and oils and all that stuff. We need to be updating that continuously. The more clicks you can get, the better. So if you got a crib, pack and play, if you have children's cutlery, things like that, the more clicks, the better. We have to think that that influences the Airbnb algorithm. And the last thing is, I can't emphasize this enough, we need to be remarketing and taking those direct bookings. Very, very important for the future of your long-term business. We'll end on one thing I want you to take away this week. We talked about quite a lot of stuff. I probably used quite a few run-on sentences, nonstop talking. But this week, I want you to block off 30 minutes of every day. How about this? Wake up 30 minutes earlier, drink your water, do your exercises, do your journaling, do your reading, do whatever you need to do. Get your mind right, get your body right, go to your office, log into your Airbnb account, and every day I want you to be updating this account, either by updating the amenity list, by updating the verbiage underneath every photo, by telling the story a little bit better, by putting the amenity package within your copy, by rearranging your photos to tell the story from outside to inside, front to back, top to bottom. And by doing this, you'll potentially improve your rankings, thus creating more clicks. So if you go from page 12 to page 2 or page 1, you're going to get more clicks. We'll help you be there longer. And the more clicks, we have to think is going to lead to more bookings, which is ultimately why we're here, to create guest experiences, owner experiences, and better your business and better everybody associated with your business. That being said, thank you folks for tuning in this week. We love you. Go out there, make something great, do more than is expected, and tune in next week for the Good Endeavor short-term rental show. Thank you.